The injuries just keep on coming. Garrett Wilson now out multiple weeks. Puka Nacua likely out multiple weeks. Bucky Irving not coming back in week number 7. Emeka Egbuka probably missing. We would guess at least a week, maybe longer. We'll find out more a little bit later, probably today. But yeah, it's been a rough season. This has been the most devastating season in fantasy football and NFL history that I can remember. And I've done this for 20 plus years professionally. I played for a lot longer than that. And we adjust and adapt. There's a lot to go over, a lot of news. We'll break it all down and more. The Fantasy Football Show, breaking news show, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Every single Monday through Friday show begins right now. File on in.
FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Okay, so let's break down all the news as quick as we can. We have the Monday Night Football game as well kicking off here, so we're gonna tackle all this and more right here on the channel. We do it live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. So subscribe if you're new. Buckle up. Puka Nacua, according to the NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, Puka Nacua suffered a sprained ankle in Week 6 win over the Ravens and will likely cause him to miss some time. The expected time frame, probably about 2 to 3 to 4 weeks. It could be anywhere in that range. He did go back out and run, but you got to remember that adrenaline, the swelling hasn't ensued yet when you're on the field. And then typically, even if you're able to go a little bit, run a little bit, put some weight on it, even go out there and play, that swelling will ensue later, and then you've got all kinds of issues. Then playing on it, the stability of the ankle, making it worse, causing problems. You can't play on it. It's not something you can play on. And even if you try and play on it, you could have a setback. So it is like a 2 to 4 week injury. It just depends on the severity. We'll know probably more in the coming days, whether it's going to be a 4 to 6 week or a 2 to 4 week or a 1 to 2 week. It could be anywhere within that range. And there are different levels within the grades. Everybody's like, is it a grade 1, a grade 2? It could be borderline grade 2. It could be a severe grade 1. There's so many different levels to it. But Puka Nacua, expect him to be out at least a couple weeks at the current moment in time. It's unfortunate. It's crazy the amount of injuries that we're dealing with. Here's the other report from Ian Rappaport suggesting that he's day-to-day, but he is more so week-to-week. That report kind of has been updated. Bucky Irving, unfortunate, brutal news. Todd Bowles says Week 7's game against the Lions is not in play for Bucky. So Bucky will be out one more week with the foot and shoulder. I do believe he'll be back after this one more outing of rest, but there's nothing concrete about that. CeeDee Lamb, good news. We have some good news. Some good news.
Get Lamb.
And I shouldn't say it's locked in, but according to this report here, CeeDee Lamb could play Week 7 against the Commanders. The problem is it could. It's not a guaranteed. He's got to make sure he can go through certain process before he can get out there and play. This is the Emeka Egbuka news. Unfortunately, is scheduled to undergo further testing on Tuesday to determine how much time he will miss from the hamstring injury that he suffered in the Niners game, but is expected to miss some time. So it's probably going to be at least a week. Hopefully it's not more than 1 or 2 weeks, but it certainly sounds like we need to prep ourselves for 2 weeks, being hopeful that it's 1. This is another report here saying the Buccaneers wide receiver is expected to undergo further testing Tuesday to determine. So more news just to back that up, just to make sure you guys know this is coming from multiple places. Rico Dowdle, according to Dave Canales, Panthers head coach, he said, "We will see." When asked if Rico Dowdle has earned the right to be the team's starting running back going forward, these coaches don't know how to make decisions with their running backs. And you could say, oh, well, the Broncos win a game, Smitty, so maybe JK's not bad. Or you could have the Patriots are doing well and Drake May's on fire. Like, obviously they're doing something right. No, that's not the way the world works. You could do things easier. You could maybe not have to fight so hard. You could dominate your opponents instead of winning. I don't want to hear that these coaches are making good decisions. This is the weirdest year for running back decision making I've ever seen in my life. From Hendy to Harvey to now Rico Dowdle. And I think this might be a play on words just to make sure they're not totally disrespecting Chuba Hubbard. But let's see what happens, too, with another week. You got to remember that this man has faced two of the easiest rushing defenses. I'm not trying to take away anything from Rico. Uncle Rico's been amazing. But we do need to see if he goes out there in another contest and doesn't really deliver, then you're going to have a much easier time saying it should be a hot hand approach, whatever. But this will probably be looked at as a 50-50 approach. And then, of course, if Rico goes out there and dominates, the hot hand will take over. And we have this Bills game kicking off here shortly as well. So hang tight on that. We got, let me just make sure we don't have any start bench questions. Got offer Nico for my lad and Worthy. Got offer Nico for my lad and Worthy. I'd rather have Nico Collins. Thank you for the super chat, my boy. And then Serge with the super chat right before kickoff here. This will be the last one, and then I'm going to go through the news. Ferguson, Judkins, Nico or McBride, Brees, BTJ. Ferguson, Judkins, Nico, or McBride, Brees, BTJ. It's going to be Ferguson, Judkins, and Nico Collins. Yeah, easy, my boy. Thank you for the super chats to both of you. All right, Deebo Samuel active. Make sure you get him out there. He's good to go for the Bears Commanders game. That's fantastic news. I know a lot of people are awaiting that update. Everybody's been freaking out, panicking. A lot of people trying to start some nonsensical players on Sunday to account for that situation. But we're pretty confident Deebo would play. Of course, setbacks can happen. Having a Luke McCaffrey on standby was always a nice move. Garrett Wilson, horrible news. Horrible news. MRI revealed that the Jets wide receiver hyperextended his knee, avoided catastrophic knee injury, but is now expected to miss, as one source said, a couple weeks. We're talking about probably 2 or 3, maybe 2 to 4 weeks. Game just kicked off. Falcons returning the kick. Falcons offense now takes the field. Michael Penix Jr., Bijan Robinson, Drake London, the trio, the tripod walking out right now. Kyle Pitts, you could call the fourth of the quad. Let's see what they do here on their first series. Garrett Wilson, devastating, just nonstop injury. And if anybody didn't watch my video that I just dropped this morning, where I break down all the bust candidates, the good candidates, and the mediocre plays so far in the top 48 overall, it's asinine. It's absolutely asinine how much injury we've seen so far this year. Bijan takes his first carry. Good. Oh, he fumbles it. Bijan fumbles the first carry. Buffalo recovers. Oh, boy. Wow. Flag on the play. Defense. Replay first down. Wow. Okay. That was nice. Okay. Anyway, back on point here. All the green check marks are players that have exceeded or met ADP expectation or gotten real close. All of the red X's, so the Falcons will get another try. It's 1st and 5. redo the first play. Bijan did not fumble the ball, by the way. That is, let me go ahead and look into the light. Let me make you forget that. There you go. Bijan, this is the first play. It's 1st and 5. Don't worry about why it's 1st and 5, not 1st and 10. First play of the game. Penix Jr. drops back, lets one rip. Wide open Drake London for 15, 18 yards. Doing it live already. Penix Jr. says this means let's get it to Bijan. I think that's what this means. Run to the line, hurry up, give it to Bijan. That's what that means to me. That's what I'm doing. That was a nice, I don't know, was that 20 yards? What was that? That was a nice toss. That might have been more than 20 yards. Okay, Penix Jr. in shotgun, hits in motion, Bijan in the backfield. Handoff to Bijan. He scampers to the right slightly, that 3-yard gain. All the red X's are complete busts, players that have not delivered whatsoever. And it doesn't matter if they've been injured. It doesn't matter if Burrow went down in the case of Jamar Chase. And you're like, well, Chase, like someone in the chat trying to argue with me, a little while ago about how, well, you got to consider that. I don't have to consider anything. This discussion is about ADP, September 1 ADP. This is what this is. And did they deliver? Doesn't matter how many obstacles they've been faced. Doesn't matter if Joe Burrow went down for Jamar Chase or Chase Brown or T. Higgins. What matters is, did they deliver on their September 1 ADP? And over 60% of this entire top 4 rounds, the top 48 overall, did not deliver. 62%. And a near 40% bust rate occurred here. I believe it's 40% actually on the full 48 overall players. A near 40% bust rate on this side, and a sum total of 43% bust rate overall. That means all the red X's, we've had almost a 45% bust rate across the entire top 48. Bijan taking a nice carry, about 9 yards. So this has been a devastating year. Garrett Wilson's just another casualty to that. Probably the only positive news that I have today, by the way, I'm sorry that this is such a negative news live stream, but Rashee Rice eligible to return from suspension week number 8. We're doing it live. Fantastic. Thank God.
Let's go! Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy.
Let's get to work. Rashee Rice, let's get to work. Hand off to Tyler Algier, who of course rips off a touchdown run. Of course he has a wide open lane. Just a wide open lane. Part of that's because they're not expecting him to run the ball. Part of that's because of the play design. It was a very good play design, let's be real. But Algier just getting a wide open lane. Was that up the... Just a wide open... There's untouched. Maybe it got touched right at the end. Just an untouched rushing touchdown for about, 15 yards. I hate this because it enables this coaching staff to be like, oh, well, we might as well use Algier too then. we might as well give him some more carries because he just scored. Rashee Rice back. Let's get to work, Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice is going to save some seasons. This here from Brandon Aiyuk. This is interesting. 49ers star wide receiver, star wide receiver. Let's using the word star a little loosely here. 49ers wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk removed all the team's references from his social media and hasn't been seen at practice in weeks. The return of Aiyuk would provide another playmaker, to the offense, but the possibility of that happening this season is becoming less likely. And then there was a added part of the clip that said, if at all. So Aiyuk, I've said this over and over, that this team would cut Aiyuk if they could. His contract, if they could, the dead cap, they can't really do that. They can maybe trade him this coming offseason. The dead cap will be less. But this team has wanted to get rid of Aiyuk the moment he got injured. And they've really, I think, begrudgingly signed that contract, offered that contract to him when he pulled out from the Cleveland Brown trade that was all set up. Niners got frustrated. This guy is cooked. He mentally wasn't there before the injury. Wasn't playing well at all. Was playing bad. And now all of a sudden Aiyuk is... And I love that Niner fans think they can trade him. They're like, well, we'll just trade him. No one wants him. He's not healthy. Why would anybody trade for an injured Brandon Aiyuk? But this is getting so bad in San Francisco. This team is look, to put it bluntly, the Niner fan base has been put through the ringer. And I have respect for the Niner fan base, even though they can get all crazy sometimes on me because they think I'm a Niner hater. I'm not a Niner hater. I've supported Niner players like Debo and Mason and Garendo and other players more than most people can imagine, or just go back and reflect on it. But the way this organization operates sometimes is head scratching. And the way that they handled this offseason contract situation with Aiyuk created this big mess. Aiyuk made it worse. Aiyuk was an equal counterpart in making that thing a disaster. And it's just been a mess from Jump Street. Aiyuk was this is one of the biggest robberies in NFL history for a contract. A guy that hasn't even earned a lick of this deal. Nothing. He hasn't earned a bit of this contract. Not only will he miss this year, but he won't even be fully healthy next year. And then he's going to want to be paid. He's going to be in his contract year. He's going to be demanding more money from wherever he's at. But this is a disaster. This is an absolute disaster. Don't expect to see Brandon Aiyuk at all this year. At all. Even if he did come back and play, it's a disaster. 49ers Kyle Shanahan said he expects George Kittle to return to practice this week ahead of Sunday's game versus the Falcons. That will be good. And that will certainly put a little bit of a damper on everyone else that's doing something in San Francisco, because Kittle will command some work. Lions safety Brian Branch has been suspended for one game. Good. He should be. And he should be suspended for longer, to be honest. Dalton Kincaid, oblique, inactive for tonight's game. I'm sure you heard that, which means Shakir probably has a little bit of a nice little outing here. Keon Coleman could as well. There's a nice long deep pass. Was that Shakir? Was that Palmer? It was Palmer. Palmer, he dropped the ball, but I think he just threw it down and was grabbing it just in case. Kyler Murray is the starting quarterback when he's healthy, according to Jonathan Gannon. That's depressing news. Thought maybe the Briskinator could take his job. Kyler's trash, man. He's just not a good quarterback. It's why I didn't want the Cardinals to sign him to an extension back. I did like 10 live streams on that. Aaron Glenn said he's not will not bench Justin Fields after the Week 6 loss against the Broncos. He shouldn't bench Justin Fields, but I'm not saying Fields is playing great football, but they don't have another option. James Cook getting a tough carry right there. Mike Evans, according to Buccaneers head coach Todd Bowles, he said he's hopeful that Mike Evans' hamstring will practice this week. This would be good timing, although I don't know if Baker needs it. MVP candidate Baker Mayfield, Baker, touchdown maker. I don't know that this guy really even needs a receiver. Guy's been playing lights out. Baker's such a stud. Maury, I see your $20 super chat. Give me 1 second. Let me get right through these news pieces, and then I'll be right with your super chat. Vikings coach Kevin O'Connell said he wasn't ready to name a starter for Week 7 against the Eagles. Josh Allen scrambling. Josh Allen's going to win leagues for people this year as everybody's getting ravaged with injuries. I venture to say that 1 in 3, 1 in 4 fantasy football champions will have either Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes on their team. I think Mahomes and Allen are just going to carry people. Blake Corum ankle day to day, so we might see a little bit more Jarquez Hunter potentially. See how good that kid is. And Brian Callahan, Titans head coach, fired, deservedly so. Was not getting it done. And I think that's all the news we have. There's another report on that Callahan firing here. That's all the news. There's a lot of news we went over real quickly. Again, we're watching the Monday Night Football game right now, the first of the two, the Buffalo Bills and the Atlanta Falcons. And we're really hopeful here that we could get a high-scoring game. Hopefully we do see a bunch of points put up on the board. Let me hit these super chats real quickly. Maury with the $20 super chat. Appreciate you, Maury.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Maury, appreciate your super chat, young man. Thank you very much for that. This one from Maury. I'm 3-3, and after this week, let me swing over here. I'm 3-3 after this week with Daniel Jones, Dart, Garrett Wilson, Ted McMillan, Rashee Rice, McLaurin, Judy, Kendrick Bourne, McCaffrey, Jacobs, Judkins. Look, your team's really good. What do you do with your wide receivers? I mean, Rice comes back, Tet's playing good ball, and you probably get Bourne to score for a while longer, and then you get McLaurin back, and then you get Garrett Wilson back. I don't think you need to make any moves except for be on the lurch for that Christian McCaffrey trade that I keep talking about, where you're trading CMC for 2 pots of gold and only 2 pots of gold. You're not doing it unless you're getting the 2 monsters like a Drake London, who you may or may not be able to get after this game. Maybe you can, and then you get that Ashton Genty, or you get that player like Quinshon Judkins, or especially buying low on Judkins right now, or you get, let's say, a even bigger monster at wide receiver and a Rico Dowdle and something even like there's no reason to trade Christian McCaffrey low. You don't need to. And as I continue to tell people that whine and complain about my Christian McCaffrey takes, even if I'm wrong, I will be right. Even if I'm wrong, that's the whole point. If you trade CMC and he balls out all year and doesn't get hurt, the 2 players you get should easily equal Christian McCaffrey balling out all year. That's the whole point of my stance. But yet people don't hear it. They don't hear it. They don't want to hear it. This is divide and conquer. This is taking a $100 bill that's susceptible to being lost or stolen. Touchdown, Josh Allen, strike, Dawson Knox, doing it live. You're taking a $100 bill that is not secure and dividing it into a $60 bill and a $40 bill, let's say. And that way, if something happens to one of them, you still have some insurance here that's going to be able to weather the storm. If this goes away, what are you going to do? This is a dilution of talent. You do this only if you get 2 pots of gold that equal Christian McCaffrey if Christian McCaffrey doesn't even go down. That is the whole point of the trade. It's asinine to me that people don't understand it. They don't get it. They say things like, you just got to keep them. You just got to keep no matter what. 6 weeks into football, the entire Niner roster is getting ravaged with injuries. They're going down like flies, one after the other. One after the other. Absolutely insane. They still won't get it, Smitty, says AC. They won't. They won't. A Niner fan or a Christian McCaffrey connoisseur, they won't understand it. They think that this is still bad. They come in here every week. They're like, I told you not to trade Christian McCaffrey. as if it does anything, as if it means anything. It doesn't mean anything. We told you that Christian McCaffrey would do well for this amount of time. He'll probably do well for 2-3 more weeks. I wouldn't risk it if you can get what you can get for it, but it's absolutely hilarious. So anyway, my point is, Maury, don't trade him for anything but 2 pots of gold. You wait another week if you need to wait another week. However, your team is strong enough that I think you're going to be fine for right now. I don't think your wide receivers are the concern. I think you continue to rock what you're rocking here, bro. It's a good job. All right, Pitts, Waller. Yeah, the only thing you could maybe trade later is once you get those receivers back, maybe you could do some sort of, Jacobs and a wide receiver upgrade potentially. But other than that, Maury, I think I stand down. I appreciate your $20 holler, but I think I stand down at the moment. Okay. Here, Michael. There you go. Okay. Let's get to these super chats. We've got a few more brewing here. Mike, do I drop Knicks for Penix? 1 and 5 need to make moves. Do I drop Knicks for Penix? I would probably rather have Penix Jr. at this moment in time, Mike. I think so. Chase Brown and Waller for JMO. I'd probably rather have JMO in a vacuum, to be honest. But if I need a running back, I don't need the wide receiver, I certainly would consider Chase Brown. That either side could work for me, bro. Either side could be fine. Trev, appreciate you. 3-3, been trying to trade K9 for weeks. K9, good luck now. Haven't been able to get anything done, unfortunately. Any players you target. Lab McConkey, but that window might have closed, as I've been screaming and beating the drum on the Lab McConkey topic for weeks now. I think, Lad's probably, unfortunately, a closed window, but try. I think Pickens is now a closed window. That could have been done. Adams is another player you could maybe get. That window will certainly close here. Puka Nacua down now. Adams goes to the roof, through the roof. These are all players I've been screaming. Trev, have you tried Adams? Have you tried those players before those windows closed, because those were the tickets, bro. Those were the meal tickets. Those are the easy calls. I've been beating the drum for those guys all for the last 2-3 weeks. The only other player I could think of, Scat's now out the window. Scat was certainly a player. ETN. Maybe people are freaking out on ETN, and it's a risky move, but maybe you've got Tootin, or you can get Tootin. But that's a decent lateral move. There's a risk to it. I think you could maybe go after like a JMO and a Hendy, or a JMO and a Harvey, try and get 2 players that way. I think, adding something to it and getting Henry involved could be an avenue. Kirkwood, appreciate you. Kirkwood with the $20 hauler. Kirkwood, appreciate you, my boy.
Alert. Super chat alert.
What are they doing? What are the Falcons doing with that? It's a false start. Like, you could tell they don't know how to run that play. 10-team Superflex, 4 bench spots, 1 wide receiver, 1 running back, tight end, 2 flex. Rice comes off IR, need to trade 2 for 1, have Mahomes, Penix, Buka, Genti. Well, doesn't Buka go probably on IR for you, or maybe not in time? So you might have to just potentially wait. I think those could swap out. But if you had to make it 2 for 1, I suppose you could maybe try... I don't know what you're going to move, bro. I don't know that I'm forcing anything. Depending on Penix Jr. does, you always could drop Penix Jr. But I don't know if I love that idea either. Certainly don't want to drop Woody. I don't want to drop Hendy. Yeah, I don't know. I drop my kicker, wait for the IR spot to open up, for, or the availability to be there for Puka, and then you throw Puka in, or Buka. Depends on if he goes on IR, and he might not. If he doesn't actually go on physical IR, maybe you can't put a guy that's out on IR. So every rule is different. Maybe that's your rule. If that's your rule and you can't put him on IR, I just think you can, because Rice wasn't on IR. He was suspended. So if you could have Rice on IR, I imagine Buka being ruled out could go on IR, but I guess Penix Jr. would be the cut for right now. Let's just see how he plays, Kirkwood, and then go from there. But drop your kicker, buy yourself some time. I don't know that I want to. If I was to try and force a trade from this team, like force a trade, I'd probably say I don't think I am forcing a trade, bro. I like what you have. I don't want to divide this team up. I mean, Buka and something, Buka and like a Hendy or Buka in a Woods, in a Woody Marks. Woody Marks, Buka and Woody Marks for like an Adams or something. If you wanted to, and then I don't know if that's enough. I'd rather just keep Buka, I think, than Adams. It's tough to say, because Adams is going to ball out, but Buka will be back. I don't think I'm going to sell low. Plus, Adams is older. He could get hurt at any moment, too. I'd say, especially if you're not doing a 2 for 2, you're trying to get rid of 2 for 1. I'd say you got to reach for a wide receiver like JSN, who's going to be really tough to get at this point. JJ, maybe. If you could trade a potential Hendy and Buka for JJ, I would consider that, or Woody and Buka for JJ. Past that, past JSN, past Nico, past JJ, past those guys, London, I don't think I'd trade Buka. I don't think I could do it for Adams. I don't think I could do it for any of those wide receivers. And I don't think there's anybody else that fits the bill. I think you just got to drop Penix Jr., unfortunately. And just, I guess, let me know if you think that the quarterback situation is going to be kind to you on the waiver wire. If not, then we got to, I guess, cook something up. But man, Jamar Chase, I don't even know if Jamar Chase is worth. I guess I'd go after Jamar Chase, I suppose. Lamb chops, of course I'd take Lamb. Of course I'd take JJ. I'd probably take St. Brown. I'd probably take JSN. I'd probably take Collins. I'd probably take Rashee Rice. But you have Rice already. That's it. London. That's it. Once we get there, I'm not trading Buka. I would trade Buka and like Woody Marks for that. That's it. Mike, thank you for the super chat. Michael Penix Jr., Bryce Young, and Rodgers to grab over Nix. I would go probably Penix Jr., but let's see how he plays. If he doesn't play well tonight, then maybe you're considering. I just keep keeping Bo Nix, I suppose. Man, any Egbuka moves? I just described a bunch of them. FPV, like a bunch of them. Any news? Go watch the entire show. This whole show was a news show. I literally 20 minutes of breaking down every single piece of news for the day. FPV, go rewind the show, bro. I know you just got here, but that's what this show is. I can't redo it for you. But it's all here for the taking, my boy. I'll guide you through every step. Just rewind. I'll see you there. Rico not handcuffed to me. Rico not handcuffed to me. Not a handcuff to me, says KJ. Who says he's a handcuff? Thank you, FPV. I'm sorry I can't redo it for you, but it's all of it's covered, bro. Next week's game against the Bengals. I don't know what some of you were saying. Some of you were having conversations. I guess I'm butting in. I'm sorry. Redo the show word for word, says D-Town. Be kind, rewind. Remember that? Man, Hubbard isn't going to go to the bench. He's getting paid too much, says Mr. TD. I don't necessarily agree, but I don't necessarily disagree. I think there will be a committee, but I believe that they will use a hot hand if Rico Dowdle is dominating Chuba Hubbard. But I think they will give Hubbard run. I do believe they will. I don't think they're just going to keep him on the bench. But is B-Rob the best strict handcuff in the league? No. I think Charbonnet probably is. Is that where someone said Rico? Rico ain't a handcuff. Rico's the starter. Chuba is probably the handcuff. But I do believe they'll use both of them. I think B-Rob's one of them for sure. But Garendo's still in the mix if something happens. Know that. I think Ray Davis is still fantastic. I think Charbonnet is probably number one. I think Blake Corum, or if Blake Corum's not healthy. I mean, there's a ton of running backs that fit the bill. The old cup board, I have not updated this cup board, so just know that. But it was Tootin. Tootin's probably one of the most valuable. Man, this got obliterated. Gordon, Scatterboo's no longer a cuff. That cuff board. Well, let's look at it and just kind of reminisce. I mean, look how good it's working out. Where's it at? Where's the cuff board? Sharps, Gordon, Tootin, Benson worked out, then got injured. Scatterboo, B-Rob Jr. is there. Woody Marks popped up for a minute. Pretty intriguing. The cuff board did actually provide some glory, but Scatterboo's the victor of the cuff board. Josh Allen in the shotgun. Slings no, my goodness, that pass was unbelievable. That had to have been one of the best passes I've seen in years. That was unreal. Did anybody see what Josh Allen just threw out there? This guy is remarkable. He's the best quarterback in the league. No doubt about him. Well, him and Mahomes. And look, Drake May's getting up there. Drake May's starting to get in the conversation where we start saying, and Drake May. Or not Drake May yet, but we say, and maybe Drake May. So it's like Drake May's getting up there. But that was an unbelievable throw. I would say Josh Allen and Mahomes are the two best quarterbacks in the National Football League. And then we've got kind of a cluster. Was that inbounds? Oh, it was out. He didn't get his second foot in. God, in real time, it looked like he got 3 feet in. Wow, that looked like he got 3 feet in. Jack, John, appreciate you. How would you think Rashee Rice is going to be? Top 5, like I've said the entire offseason and in season, like in every day of my life. I think he's going to be a top 5 wide receiver. 12 team, thank you for the super chat. 5-1, Knicks, Kyron, Rashad, Jamar. Any moves? I would probably say, God, you've been hit with injury. I'd probably say you're entertaining selling high on Rico. Just entertaining it. You kind of need him. So if you trade him, you're going to... I mean, you could go Rachaad White for a little while, but what happens when Bucky is back? Part of me wonders if you could trade Rico for Bucky. You know, go that direction somehow. And I gave all those suggestions about Buka going after, you know, Buka and something, Buka and Evans, Buka and JK. And you go after the Nicos, the JSNs, the St. Browns, the JJs, the Rices, you know, Lamb. Other than that, I think you're probably standing down and waiting for Buka to return. But I think Bucky would be a great go-get player for you. Bo Nix, Adams, Mike Evans. I'm 1-5. What are some trades you can make? I would probably say with your squad, you're maybe trying to cash in on Worthy a little bit. Man, I'd love to get Rice, but you don't have a lot of trade value, bro. I don't mean to hit you hard here and say that there's not much you can do, but there's not much you can do. Devontae Adams might see a spike in value, but I don't know that the fair market value matches what I believe is in store for him because of this Puka Nacua injury. So you're kind of probably needing to wait a week, let him blow up. But I don't know that there's a lot to trade here. You don't have much trade value. I mean, have almost no trade value. You have Adams, and that's essentially it. Worthy's not even tradable. Like Worthy and Knight for maybe an... I don't even know what you could get. Like Worthy and Knight for like a Chase Brown and something. Like you're going to have to go bargain shopping on the Chase Browns, on the JMOs, on the potentially the Derrick Henry front. I mean, if you could get rid of like Bam Knight and Worthy for Derrick Henry, and then you let Adams and Evans and Ladd do their thing, and Henry bounces back, or didn't even bounce back, he bounces forward for the first time, then all of a sudden you're in the mix. Like you make one move for Henry or Barkley using that. That would be my suggestion. Barkley or Henry for that. Otherwise, I don't know what else you can even do but wait. Is Judkins cooked? Why would he be cooked? I don't understand that question. My apologies. I got interrupted. My QB waiver is weak. Rattler, Rush, Ward, Jones, and Gabriel. I guess I would go Rattler, assuming he's, healthy and everything. He's an okay play. None of those plays are very strong. Pick up, thank you for the super chat, my boy, but I'd say Rattler, I guess. Pick up Tootin, B-Rob, Corum, Davis, or Gordon. Tootin or B-Rob. I think B-Rob at any moment could get thrusted into the spotlight, but I do think Tootin's the best player of the group, and I would hope him and Gordon are the two best players. And if something happened to the starter, knock on wood, then they would become stars. Whereas I do believe that B-Rob would be very good, but you also still have Garendo. But B-Rob would probably get the first crack. They traded for him for a reason. It sounds like they want to use him. Shador isn't a QB. He's a stunt model. No, he's not. Shador gets too much hate. I hope Shador gets traded. It's ridiculous that the team won't trade Shador. If you're not going to use him, trade him. Set him free. Don't keep him trapped where he's at. You literally are giving him no shot. They don't even announce him as the backup quarterback. In the current situation, it's pathetic. I forgot Bucky was on the bench from my question, RJ. RJ, I don't have your question up anymore, but that's great news. All super chats are self-contained, so make sure you include your question in the super chat. I can't go back and find it. But that's great news. All the advice still applies except for go get Bucky. Let me see here. If I can find it, RJ. 5-on-1. So you have Bucky. You're probably pretty good to sit tight though. But I'd still entertain like a Rico and Tet for like a JJ, a Nico, St. Brown, like something like that, RJ. That might change the opinion a little bit. Because then you can kind of roll with the Rachaad White Bucky, and then now you're not as desperate for a running back. So maybe you do go use that Rico and Tet for one monster wide receiver. And I'm talking JJ. And he's attainable. And his bye week out of the way, it's pretty good. I'd probably roll with that. JJ with the bye week out of the way would be fantastic. Hand off to Bijan, who rips off a nice little run. 630, I got 10 seconds. Go.
Hey, how's it going? Super quick, man. I was wondering, would you trade JSN or would you rather have Drake London and Kamani Vidal? Who's better? I just lost Garrett Wilson.
JSN, bro. He's a monster.
So keep JSN even though...
I like Vidal. I do, but I don't... I think... Well, who are your running backs if you don't have Vidal in there?
So if I don't have Vidal, I'm sitting with Genty and Trey Henderson, but Trey Henderson's not doing much, man.
I would watch this game. If London finishes with... Not that one game should determine anything, because it's not like we're trying to evaluate London's talent. We're trying to evaluate the Falcons' consistency in delivering London the ball. And if they can deliver him 100-plus yard, a touchdown type of game, I think I'd be pretty confident going into that situation and having Vidal. But at the same time, I think I still sit with JSN. That London grabbed a big pass. Can he offer it to you and you just hover over it? Because if London does have a 150 and a touch, we're going to be pretty pumped, and I think you're going to want to take it. I don't know. JSN's just a monster.
Yeah. And do you think that with Omari and Hampton's significant time he's going to miss, that Kamani could be a nice asset for the next,
Well, yeah, that's why we would do the trade. Yeah, because JSN's better than London. But it's hard to know. We don't know for sure. Bijan just looking like a monster. Now, if they put Algier in, I'm going to be so pissed off. They think Algier's this touchdown monster. Like, let's get our touchdown guy in there. Let's just put him in. Let's get our touchdown machine in there. He's a little ball of touchdown. Let's just get him. Let's get him in. Let's get the little touchdown hamster in there instead of let's get the wildebeest. I mean, he's a freight train. This is what they do. They put him out at wide receiver, and they put Algier in there or a tight end, and then they do some sort of run. Okay, in motion, Bijan in motion, returns to the backfield, hand off to Bijan, nowhere to go. All right, anyway, bro, to answer the question, Vidal is very, very good. He's a very crafty little option right now. Anything can happen. Hot hand could change. Keep in mind, everybody that thinks that Vidal, like Haskins, was this huge mistake that they regret, keep in mind that in the first half of the game, it was an equal split. It's because Vidal started to look good and they went with the hot hand. So it wouldn't be surprising if Vidal got a little bit more work, but if Haskins got the right carry and he became the hot hand, they could switch it because they got equal work in the first half.
So if you were me and you're down Garrett Wilson for at least a few weeks, would you? Because Jason's my best player.
I mean, you keep asking the question. My answer doesn't change. Hover over keep your finger over the button. Have him send it to you, and then have him send it to you. Say, I'll think about it. And then if London goes nuts tonight, and you feel confident, hit the button. But if not, JSN is too valuable to give up.
All right, that's fair. Thank you.
All right, later, bro. Bro keeps asking me 7 different ways. Okay, so let me ask you this. let me ask you this. Do you like Vidal? Let's get the ball to Bijan again. Let's try this again. London touchdown! Wow! Wow. See, that's what I'm talking about. You got to have your finger over the button. I'm not saying press it yet, but if he has another touchdown, I think you press the button. That's what I'm talking about. You got to have this option on the table because that was a catch. That was a touchdown. Let's record that. Put that on Insta. That was unbelievable. Wow. That was awesome. The way he reached over, that was such a highlight reel. Such a highlight reel. I'm going to put this on Insta. Yeah, buddies. Just the way he reached out like that. Just that's a photo. And then I love how he took it back. The defender tried to bat it out of his hand, and Lennon goes like this. So Lennon reaches over. He reaches over like this, and then the defender went to bat it, and Lennon goes, nope. He moved it out of the way, but he kind of returned it back over, like he's like, it's over the end, it's over the line, over the line. Guy goes to swipe, he goes, nope, it's over the line. Wow. London's a beast, bro. Penix Jr., nice work. See, was it Kirkwood that had the question about cutting somebody? I don't know. We'll have to see how Penix Jr. does the rest of the game. You might have to cut your kicker, and then we work on it throughout the week. I just don't see a lot of trade opportunities for you. London has 17 fantasy points, and it's not even the end of the first quarter yet. Yeah, but isn't that the way it goes? Then he'll end up with 21. Wow, that was a great catch. What hands London has. I love how the guy tried to bat it out. 9 tried to swipe it out of his hand, even though it was over the end zone. He tried to swipe it. He goes, nope. No, you don't. You're not messing up this highlight reel. Nope. London gold coming through. Beast. 6 targets, 5 receptions, 64 yards, and a touchdown in quarter 1 for Drake London. What a game. 14-7. If only Bijan had scored that touchdown instead of Algier, then we'd be sitting pretty. All right, return to about the 25-yard line. All right, guys, I'll be back for the wrap-up show at the end of the game. Appreciate you all. Thank you for the super chats. Don't forget to get on over to the live chat Patreon. We're literally sitting in there during any game in the Game Day Lounge chat room that we have. It's this one right here. It says Game Day Lounge, Start Bench chat room. And it's just literally like play-by-play. A lot of people that are working, like their night shift or whatever, they'll literally, if they don't have the game on, they can just like keep that chat up, and it's like such a play-by-play. Everybody's like, "Oh, Bijan scored." You don't even have to watch the game if you're reading the chat. So get in there. I'll see you guys all for the wrap-up show. Appreciate you all. We're live after every game, so we'll wrap this up after. Appreciate you all. Dose. We'll go over the waiver wire again tonight. London, baby.
Mr. London, what seems to be the problem? I've been a little off. Can't seem to get things going, if you know what I mean. I think I have just the thing for you, Mr. London.
Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Live whenever big news breaks, and live at midnight Eastern almost every single night. See you all in a little while.